Adrienne Dorothy Ancrum Richards was born to David and Beatrice Ancrum in Brooklyn, New York on September 14, 1942, at Kings County Hospital. She was the second of their three children, having been born 6 minutes after her identical twin sister Diane. 2 years later, little Lorraine was born. From an early age, Jeannie, as she was affectionately known, was an adventurous, fun-loving child. Always on the go, bug hunting to torment her sisters, or rescuing stray cats in the neighborhood. Also to torment her sisters. Jeannie threatened to run away from home after one thwarted rescue mission when her mother wouldn't let her keep a cat she found. You see, Diane had allergies, so that cat couldn't stay. Jeannie tried to get her twin to run away with her as they did everything together, but Diane didn't think it was a very good idea. Adrienne attended Andrew Jackson High School, where she met a core group of young ladies who would ultimately form a lifelong friendship. They formed and incorporated the Elegant Eight, which started as a social club but quickly evolved into a successful business enterprise. The girls' friendship was solidified between sermons at St. Albans Baptist Church. Their initial marketing scheme was something called waistline parties. They would charge attendees 2 cents per inch of their waist in order to gain entry. Now, we all know that wouldn't fly today. Yikes. They would go on to host countless dances and exclusive events throughout Queens and Harlem under the watchful eye of the group's parents, including Miss B, the matriarch of the Ancrum family. After high school, Jeannie fell in love with Guy Richards, whom she knew from the neighborhood as they ran in the same St. Albans circles. It was a whirlwind, by-the-book courtship because Adrienne was special, as attested to by a first-hand witness, Guy's younger sister, Anne. Guy treated Adrienne very differently from any of his previous girlfriends. He was deeply infatuated. He would proudly take the apple of his eye on dates all over the city. Their courtship culminated in marriage in 1962. Jeannie became the June bride she'd always dreamed of being, and the first of the Elegant Eight to tie the knot. Their honeymoon would last a few years before they decided to procreate. It was exactly 9 months to the day after Diane gave birth that Jeannie delivered her pride and joy, Diencourt Elliott. Baby boy Richards came along shortly thereafter. Adrienne was very active in the rearing of her children. She seemed to delight in bedtime stories as she would dramatically act out and voice the characters in the book. She nurtured her children throughout their early development, from tiny tots to St. Pascal's Babylon School. No one could tell Jeannie that she couldn't go to school with her children. She was there every day and unexpectedly became the pseudo-mom for everyone in her orbit. She helped in any way she could, from tutoring in the Learning Center to leading fundraisers and social events. When Jeannie could no longer follow her kids to school, she reinvented herself as a modern career woman, landing a pivotal position at Kennedy Electrical Supply in Springfield Gardens, Queens. She was hired as a receptionist, but also worked in bookkeeping and other critical roles. Adrienne would become the face of Kennedy Electric for some 30 years, greeting employees and customers with her warm, infectious personality day in and day out. Once again, she became a mom to the masses. Mrs. A was always there to provide guidance and wisdom for her babies, who routinely came to her with their problems and issues. Mrs. A was an active member of Local Number 3, Union for the Supply Division. serving as the vice president for many years. Jeannie was known for her volunteer work. She just loved to help people and be involved. She kept her children active while living in Hollis, Queens, on 197th Street. Their block had over 50 kids on it. Mrs. A loved them all. When the family moved to Cambria Heights and her boys joined the Little League, Mrs. A jumped headfirst into the team mom role. Did I mention that Jeannie was a twin? She did almost everything with Diane, from the early days of the Elegant Eight to working at Schraff's Chocolate Company in New York City, to her many, many money-making ideas. They sponsored bus rides to dude ranches, Great Adventure, the Bronx Zoo, Flushing Meadow Park, and Jones Beach. They would always provide sack lunches of Diane's famous fried chicken smashed between 2 pieces of white Wonder Bread. Jeannie and her twin were inseparable. They dressed alike all the time, so much so that their own children often got them confused. The dynamic duo were their own glam squad, staying up on all the latest fashions and often creating their own trends. The twins loved to hustle to make extra money. They were proud Tupperware sales ladies, Avon calling distributors, Mary Kay contractors, and then their very own Cuddly Changes business, where they sold period baskets to help young girls understand and embrace their transition into womanhood. If you had to describe Jeannie with one word, it would prove to be difficult. She was a lot of things to a lot of people. She loved being involved, doing, going, seeing, being seen, participating. She was a hard charger. She especially loved music and dancing. From early on, chasing the likes of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers to Chubby Checker. She actually broke her ankle while doing the twist. She loved Smokey and Teddy the most. Ironically, it would be another broken ankle that would cause her to leave New York City for a new life in Atlanta, Georgia. Jeannie would live to see her boys get married and start their own families. Dan Court marrying Tracy and having Matthew and Courtney Adrienne. Mark wed Corrine and had 2 daughters, Erica and Renee. Jeannie probably found her favorite role ever, being a grandmother. She absolutely loved doting on her grandbabies, and she was proud of all of them. Jeannie lived her life to the fullest with no regrets, constantly reinventing herself with many differing looks, and she never looked back to worry about any detractors. She is survived by Dean, Mark, Tracy, Corrine, Matt, Courtney, Erica, and Renee. Her sister Lorraine and brother-in-law Raymond, brother Earl, her aunt Mildred and first cousin Joyce, and Doug. Sisters-in-law Carol and Ann. Nieces Lee, Deirdre, Chelsea, and Stacy. Nephews David and Ray. Grandnephews and nieces Catrice and Wesley. Brittany, Kennedy, Nicole, Nairi, Naomi, and Michaela. Her buddy Lou, and limitless hosts of family and friends.
Not all sons will take care of their mother like you take care of me. Because sometimes you get a little upset. And Grandma takes her crying, but he's right there. He's Johnny on the spot. And guess what? Payback is a bitch. Thank you, God. You finished? Thank you for letting me alive this long.
Amen.
Amen. And if I should go before next year, don't you all cry or nothing.
I should have said for you to go before it was getting covered.
No, and no crying. I'll be cremated.
What are you talking about?
Wait. And I'll miss each and every one of you. And I'll see you when you all get to heaven.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good talk to the media.
I will be your guiding spirit. Or your spirit guide. Next.
Amen.
Short and sweet.